Hey, what's up guys? Paul here. So today we're going to be building a React Native contacts app. This is the app here. It's not entirely complete. I'd say about 75% of the way there. And in this video, we'll get to this point here. There's a few things left to do. In this favorites screen, we want anything that we click on here. So when you click on these hearts, they should turn red and then render in a list in the favorites section. And I also want to be able to click on the individual contact, go to another screen where you have a full profile on them, and just get additional details. So we're going to start building this out. I'd say it's going to probably be about 30-minute long video. So we'll be using React Navigation to build a tab navigator, which is what you see down here below. We're going to, this data here is coming from db.json, and we're going to generate some mock Json data from mockaroo.com. So that might come in useful for some of you guys. And what else? That's about it. Yeah, we're just using, we're also going to be using native base, which is a UI library for React Native. So yeah, let's get started. All right, so the first thing we'll do is create the project, create React Native app. We'll call it contacts app. And once the project is done installing, let's cd into it. Contacts app. Let's open it up in the text editor. Let's move this over here. And yarn run iOS. And now this is going to initiate the simulator, iPhone simulator. Okay, now that we have our simulator up and running, let's open up app.js, remove some of this text here, and just to check it and see that everything's working properly, I like to start off with the hello world. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to open up a second terminal tab. I'm going to install a few dependencies, well, a couple, two. I'm going to add native base and React navigation. So we have our dependencies installed. Now we want to make a few directories. We're going to start off by making components directory. So make dir components, and we're going to cd into components. There's our components directory. Inside of it, we're going to create home screen and favorites. And now we're going to create files within each one of them. So home screen, we're going to create a home screen.js file. And inside of the favorites directory, we're going to create a favorites.js file. And let's just see, everything is there. Great. So inside of home screen, I'm going to use some boilerplate code. I'll leave the name of the package in the description below, but I just type in RNC and tab, and I have this class created for me. It imports the basics from React Native and a little bit of basic styling. I imagine some of you guys want to code along and would rather me slow down the pace. Just let me know how you guys feel about it. I could always do something like that in the future, but I feel that most people watching these videos are not necessarily coding along, but just seeing how you build your project out, which personally, I think that's a better way to learn. I used to do a lot of code alongs in a step-by-step manner, and although it's good sometimes, I feel that I learn more when I just watch the process and then clone the repository and try to just tinker with it on my own. So anyway, moving on. We're going to call this home screen. And Let's just add some styling here. Align items, center, justify content, center. Yep. We're going to do the same thing in favorites, R and C. This is the favorites. Align items, center, and justify content is also center. So we're going to start building out the tab navigator inside of app. So let's start off by importing everything from native base, which is our UI library. We're going to be using a few elements from there, which will be the footer tab, button, and icon from native base. We're also going to import tab navigator from React navigation. And let's import the two components that we just built, favorites and home screen. So import home screen from components, home screen, home screen. Import favorites from components, favorites, favorites. So we're going to get rid of this class here, and we're going to do a construct variable. So const app equals tab navigator and home screen. So we're building our routes right now. The screen for that is going to be the home screen component. Favorites. Screen is favorites. Comma. Open it up. And now we're going to say tab bar position. This is going to be bottom. Tab bar component. Pass props. Return, and now we're going to start building out our styling. So let's add a footer. Whoa. Footer. Inside of footer, let's create a footer tab. Inside of footer tab, let's create our first button. So we're going to give some properties to the button. It's going to be vertical. Active is going to be props dot navigation state dot index triple equals 0. And on press is going to be callback props dot navigation dot navigate home screen. And inside of the button, we're going to give it an icon, self-closing. The name of that icon is going to be home. And below that, we're going to create text. And inside of that text, we're also going to put home. So now for our second tab button, what we can just do is take this button, copy it over, and just make a few simple changes to it, which it's going to be an index of 1. It's going to be a heart. Wait, no, sorry, that's going to be in the icon name. Heart. This is favorites. And also here the text will say favorites. And let's see what else. We have to export it. Export default app. We can get rid of the styling here. Let's put a semicolon here and save. I think we should be good. Let's see. Hopefully no red screen. What's going on here? Oh, it's bundling. All right, everything looks good. This is the tab, footer tab. You click on favorites and it takes you to the favorites screen, which is the favorites component. So now we want to generate some mock JSON data that we'll be able to feed over to the app. So we're going to do it through Mockaroo. So here's what we're going to do. This is the default schema that you're going to get inside of Mockaroo. We're going to make some changes. We're going to call this contact. Now the first field is going to be JSON array. And we want 50 elements in this array, nothing more, nothing less. If you have a range in here and at the point of download, it's just going to give you something between those two numbers. So now we want nested key value pairs under contacts. And the way you would do that inside of Mockaroo is you would start off so this initial field has to be a JSON array, and then anything thereafter that's associated and nested within contact, you're going to have this name dot and then whatever that field name is going to be. So in our case, let's make this ID contact.id, and I think we can call this number. So just row number, and the reason we just want a unique number, it's just so when we map through everything, we're gonna associate contact.id as the value of the key, so it has a unique number, and that's okay. Row number. So now we're gonna do contact.first name, and we're gonna say first name. Contact.last name, contact.email, contact.phone number, and we'll just do standard USA based formatting. We're going to want one more field, which is the image. So contact.image, it's called avatar. We're going to make them size 40 by 40. Format should be PNG. We only want one row because it'll be one row of 50 elements generated for contacts. We want it to be JSON, and we do want the array, and we can preview before downloading. And there we have it. Cool. So you can go ahead and just download. Now you're going to want to open up this file. Copy it all, select all, copy, and I'm going to paste it into a new file that I create inside of my text editor. So I'm going to create a file called db.json. So touch, not inside of components, but on the root level. So I'm going to go back one, touch db.json. There it is right there. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to paste it all. I'm going to save. Now it looks all skewed and weird. All I do here is control and beautify file. That's a package that you can download, I think, both on Visual Studio Code and on Atom. So when I do that, it gives it in a nice beautified format that we can all understand. So now we want to open up a third terminal tab, and in that tab we want to get our mock server, fake server going, which I use Json Server for that. And I already have it installed globally. If you guys don't, I'll leave the npm package in the description below. But for me, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with json-server-watch db.json, this file here, and on --port, whatever port you want it to be, I'm going to do 3004. And once I do that, what? Data must be an object. Hold on. Okay, I see what went wrong there. So I have all these objects within a single array. So maybe when you download the mock data, unselect array, but I'm just going to take this, and also I'm selecting both of them by holding command, so I'm deleting that. So now it's all just within an object. They're both gone. And if I rerun this, Json-server-watch db.json --port 3004 and run it, and we're good. So now this is acting like a server that has this data stored at this following URL. So if we go back to our browser and go to localhost 3004/contact, you will see there's all our JSON data that we're going to use. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so now we want to fetch this JSON data into home screen. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off by building a constructor here within the class. So constructor props super props. Wait, what is wrong with me today? Sorry. Props super props, and then this dot state, we're going to initialize the state with contacts as an empty string. Below that, we want to do a component did mount, and wait, before that we want to create a variable for that URL. So let's do that. URL contacts. Let's do that. Sorry, construct URL / contacts equals, and just the name of this URL here, http //localhost 3004 /contact. Okay, cool. So in component did mount, we're going to do fetch fetch URL contacts. The method is going to be a get dot then response.json dot then JSON, and we're going to set the state of contacts to JSON. And just to see that it all works, let's go inside of the render and console log this.state.contacts and see. It would be right here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if that data shows up. And there it is. All right, moving on. So inside of the home screen directory, we want to create a new file, and we're going to call this contact_list.js. We're going to give it some boilerplate code. We're going to call it contact list. Just want to add a little bit of styling to it. Align items as center, and justify content also as center. And now we're going to bring the contact list, we're going to import it into home screen and render it there. So let's import that. Import contact list from contact list. Probably going to get a red screen right now. Hold on. Oh, nope. And we'll get rid of this styling for now, I think, yeah. And in here, what we'll do is call contact list. So now it should say contact list, and it does. But we should not have gotten rid of that styling. So styles styles.container. Okay, I'm in the contact list component, so we know that this is rendering over into the home screen component. Now we're going to start building this out here. So now we'll start building out the list inside of contact list. Let's start off by importing everything from native base that we'll be using, all of the elements, so which is quite a bit. Import container, header, content, list, list item, left, body, right, thumbnail, text, and icon from native base. We're going to get rid of this class. In fact, let's get rid of everything here. And we're going to start off with constructing contact list, passing props, construct the list, all contacts, if all contacts, return all contacts.map. Each iteration is item, and our return statement. So now we build the list. So we're going to create a list item. That list item is going to have a property. Well, this is where we're going to set our key. Remember, key is going to be item.id. This is also going to be avatar. Let's create left. Inside of left, we're going to create a thumbnail. This will be self-closing. Give it the source, which is going to be the URL. Let's put URI backtick $, item.image, and that'll be the URL inside of db.json. Under left, let's create a body. Inside of body, let's create text, and let's say item.firstname and item.lastname. Below that text, let's create another text. Give it a attribute of note. This just kind of makes the font less bold, and it gives it kind of like a darker gray color. And inside of here, we're going to say backtick. Okay. This is going to be the phone number. So item.phone_number. Below the body, where it closes off, create right. Give right style of justify content center. Inside of right, create an icon with the name of part, and also give it a style of padding. Padding right will be 5, and font size will be 30. And that's self-closing. Let's see. And now another return statement, which will have everything we created here in between it all. So return container. Inside of container, create a self-closing header tag. Content. Inside of content, create the list, And let's see. And then we're going to pass list props over to it. Let's see. I don't think this needs avatar. We'll see. And then let's export it. Export default contact list. And let's see. Home screen contact list. Oh, I returned this outside of the function. That's stupid. This should have been, I think, here. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Let's reload. Duplicate declaration text. Oh, because I'm bringing in a text from native base, and by default, this one has text from React Native. So I think, yeah, just get rid of that. Still need to go back to home screen and pass over the props. So let's do that. Let's see. So all contacts equals this dot state dot contacts. All right, there's something funky going on here. Let's see. Things are happening. Well, we should probably, we do need a scroll view instead of view. So scroll view from React Native, and let's turn this view into a scroll view. Okay, let's get rid of that. I don't know what's going on here. Just play with it till it starts working. Ha! And there it is. All right. That's it. I think we're done. So yeah. Next couple videos, probably just one more video. Like I said in the beginning, I want to be able to click on these hearts. At that point, they would turn red, and those profiles will get rendered into the favorites page, and then you should be able to click on the individual contact and go to a separate screen where you can see additional details like, you know, email address, what planet they're from, you know, things like that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.